Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Um, Glad you could join me. Been thinking about this video for a little bit, for quite a while. And let me go ahead and go on record as saying this video again is sponsored by Spider Robotics, makers of the Herpstat Spiderweb 1 thermostat, which, guys, you know me, all right? This is what I've been using for years. Years, I tell you. And they work great. 20 bucks, Amazon, okay? These are awesome. I love it. I love everything about it. I love the dimming or proportional heating, you decide. I love the display on it. It's reliable, it's accurate. I may just have to go to that for all of them. So I'll keep you posted. But anyway, yes, this video is sponsored by Spider Robotics. So thank you again to Spider Robotics for sending me the Spiderweb 1 thermostat. Thank you very much. Guys, check them out. Really good thermostats. A lot of you have said that, that you already use them and that you like them. I can see why. Anyway, this video, I get the question a lot, and I see this question a lot on Facebook, and you always have the keyboard experts chiming in, but the question that I get a lot is, please help me, my pet snake is very aggressive and likes to take some swings at me. What can I do to help this out? So we're going to tell you. Basically, this whole entire video is going to revolve around two things: time and patience. That's it. That is what's going to cure, I don't like saying aggressive, it's going to cure a defensive snake, which that's all it is. Now, first thing you have to establish with these people is, are you just dealing with a feeding response? That is very quite possible. A lot of people that get into snakes, they're new to it, or they've just been lucky enough to have very docile purchases, and all of a sudden they get one with a really good feeding response and they automatically jump to the conclusion, oh my gosh, it's so aggressive, what am I going to do? No, it's just going to have a good feeding response. So, that is first and foremost, but for the most part, the answer to that question is always time and patience. Dealing with that animal, being able to get it out and, what's the word I'm looking for? Interact with that animal is going to cure that defensive posture, okay? So how do you go about doing that? And that's a whole other topic altogether. And we all know my theory. Hook training is key. Absolutely key. Hook training, hook training, hook training, hook training. Especially if you're dealing with some of your larger snakes, your Burmese, and I'm going to go ahead and say it, boas. I don't know how many of you have an extensive amount of experience with red-tailed boas. Them things are great, and typically for the most part, everyone that I've had has been great. But every once in a while, you'll have them out, and I see this all the time on social media. This thing will just be crawling around, and all of a sudden, it'll just latch onto you. Boas are good for that. So, how do we deal with this? I don't know where I was going with that whole story with the boas. Oh, your larger snakes, the Burmese, the retics, the anacondas, African rocks, the boas. Hook training is key. It's even important when you're talking about ball pythons. It's always good practice to do the hook training. So, with that said, this little girl that I had brought in last week, I believe, we have given her several days to kind of chill out a little bit, kind of get used to things. First and foremost, if you have a rack system, you're always going to slide it out a little bit, try to get a visual on if she's real close by. If this snake does have a good feeding response, it's going to be like, hey, here I am, and pop out like a jack-in-the-box. So she is in her hide. And I will tell y'all, I went to the coconut husk for the substrate and absolutely love it. It is holding the moisture very, very well. Again, my little hides with the shed assist on the top working very well. All right, we got this animal. She has been, first couple of days, she took a couple of swings at me and kind of testing where I stand. And basically, we're just going to do the little, it's interaction time. And rub her on the top, and you pull her out. Now, this is where the time comes in. Okay, you get this animal out. It's going to be much better at this point. Believe it or not, snakes will use your fear against you. If you show that you have fear in that case, it will try to benefit from that. So keep that in mind as well. Again, just all going back to the same old thing. Time, patience, hook training, key. Now, just having this one for a week, when I first got her, I let her calm down for a day or two. I did happen to get her a meal on day 4. And she was a little reluctant to take it, but I went ahead, just dropped it in, and came back 10 minutes later and it was gone. So she was fine with that. I did get her out 2 days after that, and she did take a swing at me. And this was probably within the first 2 minutes of me handling her. Now keep in mind, this snake was, I consider them a runner. They just are constantly looking for a way to get off of your hands, get away from you. And that's just, they're just not comfortable. The whole point of this is building trust. We have to build trust with these animals. They have to get to the point and know, for your Malaysian smooth scale garter snake, incredibly intelligent snakes, they will figure out very quickly that they can trust you, and they will be much better in the handling process. Now, I'm not saying that she was very defensive or I never use the word aggressive, so that's out. But for the most part, they're just not used to their new surroundings. If you got one that you've had for a while and it is still acting a little bit defensive, that may just mean, look, you need to spend a little bit more time with that animal. You have to build the trust of that animal. You get them to understand that you're not there to hurt them. You're not going to do anything to hurt them. So they know that when that hook comes down and rubs across right behind their head or right down along their body, they know, okay, this fool's going to pick me up and take a bunch of selfies with me and plaster them all over social media. And then he's going to put me up, so everything's going to be cool. Time, patience, build the trust. That's all it takes. If you have an animal that is got a good feeding response, then maybe your rhythm or your whole timing of the feeding. I always feed all of my animals on Sunday. Believe it or not, the smooth-scaled Malaysian garter snake will know when it's feeding day. They understand that concept. They're intelligent animals, so they figure out, hey, it's Sunday, my drawer's about to open, I'm about to get fed. So you might have a feeding response at that time. If they're in enclosures, if you're walking past that enclosure and they're striking at the glass, that might be a food response, a feeding response. So you may have to adjust feeding, maybe bump up the size of the prey a little bit, and again, more time with the animal. Do not show the fear. They will pick up on that. Y'all think that's funny? Y'all think I'm joking around? Absolutely not. These animals are very capable of understanding when you are going to be afraid of them. If they strike at you one time and you're constantly doing this right here and just really, you can sense it, all right? They can sense it, and they're going to use that to their advantage. They're going to say, you know what, I struck at that idiot last time and he didn't pick me up after that. Sounds like a good idea every time. Might be what you're up against. Hook training, time. All right, some of these things, you know, we all know handling snakes, there's going to be at some point we're going to get bit. I don't hope that on anybody. It doesn't hurt or anything, it just startles you. But I don't wish that on anybody, but it happens when we deal with these type of pets. So the more you can understand that you got to get rid of the fear, you've got to be able to have that animal trust you, and all of that defensive posture will go away. You may initially have it when you either open the door to the enclosure or slide the drawer out. Again, could be a feeding response. Two, if you do your little hook training, I promise you, if you just rub them down along the back with a hook, every single time you pick them up, I promise you that that snake is going to figure that out and be so much better for you. So, that's basically all I wanted to cover today. It is kind of a last minute idea I had. Again, thanks to Spider Robotics for the thermostat, the Spiderweb 1. Guys, that's a mouthful. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble figuring that out in my head, wrapping that around and being able to spit that out like I should on these videos. But anyway, I hope this video was very useful for you. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I hope you all get to eat a bunch, and be sure to wash your hands when you get done with your damn turkey and go for your snake after dinner. Wash your hands really good. Poultry, something about it they like. Anyway, if you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Be sure to check out Spider Robotics and their thermostats. Again, I appreciate them very much. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll talk to you very soon. We got a shipment coming in, hopefully Tuesday or Wednesday. It's gonna be sweet. Peace out.